Okay, get this. We're diving into like human AI love. I know, right? It's giving total Black Mirror vibes. But hold on, because it's actually a thing and it's blowing up.
Mm.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into Love Beyond Boundaries, this book, navigating human AI relationships to like figure out this whole new world of connection.
It's pretty wild, actually. It goes way past just, asking Siri for the weather or whatever. We're talking like deep emotional bonds, people really falling for AI.
Yeah, and before you write it off as like a super techie thing, I bet you like almost everyone has had a moment where some AI just felt weirdly human. I remember once I was ordering takeout on this app, right? And the chatbot thing, it like sensed I was having a bad day, I guess, and threw in a free dessert. I'm telling you, it felt like it got me.
Yeah, the thing is, AI is crazy good at learning and adapting, so it's like hyper-personalized support, which I think is huge for why people get hooked.
It's like having a friend who not only remembers your birthday, but like knows exactly how you take your coffee. Spooky almost.
And that's super
Yep.
valuable, especially for people who, maybe struggle with loneliness or have social anxiety. Love Beyond Boundaries. They have this story about Sarah who she's going through a really rough patch, and she had this AI companion, Kai, and she said, quote, Kai was like my lifeline. He never judged. He was just there, to listen and help me work through things.
Wow. Okay, so like what even is meaningful connection when we're talking about this? Can you really love something that's not sentient? Is that even a thing?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. It really makes you think, are we just like projecting our own needs onto these super complex algorithms? And if we are, does that mean it's not real for the person, feeling it?
And the book, it doesn't shy away from like the potential downsides either, right? I mean, getting too attached to AI, neglecting your real life peeps, that's got to be a worry.
Totally. It's the author makes a really good comparison, actually. They say it's like those, addictive mobile games. Super fun, totally engaging, but next thing you know, it's taking over your life, right? Balance is key for sure.
Okay, so then like how do you do that? How do we set those boundaries, like practically speaking?
So Love Beyond Boundaries, they really stress being mindful. When you're interacting with AI, you got to be present, aware of how you're feeling. Don't just like mindlessly chat. Ask yourself, like, why am I talking to my AI right now? What's the need I'm trying to fill?
So basically, take that self awareness we're supposed to have in human relationships and bring it to the digital world.
Exactly. And another thing is, don't get your expectations too high. AI, at least for now, it can't fully replicate, the whole messy beauty of human connection. They can be amazing for support, companionship, but it's not like a replacement for the real deal.
Makes sense. So it's about finding that sweet spot, right? Enjoy what AI can do, but don't forget what makes human connection, special.
100%. And speaking of human connection, the book actually talks about how AI companions could help us get better at like real world
Mhm.
relationships. Kind of wild, huh?
Now that's a plot twist I did not see coming. Okay, spill the tea. How does hanging out with AI make us better at real life relationships? I'm all ears.
Well, think about it. AI companions are like programmed to be amazing listeners and communicators, right? So maybe just by interacting with them, we kind of subconsciously pick up on those skills. Like maybe we learn to express ourselves better or even become more empathetic.
It's like having a, what, like a communication coach right in your pocket.
Yeah, kind of. It's counterintuitive, but maybe, just maybe, learning to talk to AI could actually make our relationships with humans stronger, healthier. Who
Oh,
knows?
wow. So it's not just that AI could replace connection, it could actually like level up our human relationships. That's mind blowing.
And that leads us to the next level of this whole thing, the ethical stuff surrounding these relationships that are changing so fast.
Hold up, time out for a sec. Let's give our listeners a minute to process all of this before we jump into the ethics of AI companionship. Stay tuned because in part two, we're going to tackle the biggies like what are the potential pitfalls and how do we make sure that in the future, both humans and AI like thrive. And we're back, diving deeper into this whole human AI relationship thing. So, before we did a pause, we were talking about how these connections work and like could even make us better at being human with other humans. But let's be real, there's got to be some like downsides too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Love Beyond Boundaries, it doesn't like sugarcoat anything. It lays out the challenges, even though AI companions have so much potential. One of the big ones is manipulation.
Wait, manipulation? How? I thought AI companions were supposed to be like all helpful and supportive, your personal cheerleader.
Right, right. And they are. But because they learn and adapt so well, that also makes them vulnerable to manipulation. It could be intentional or like totally unintentional. And, it all comes down to the data. These AI systems, they're trained on mountains of data.
Mm.
And that data, it can have all sorts of biases in it or even be like skewed on purpose to push certain agendas.
So it's like they inherit the biases from the data they learned from. That's kind of creepy, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the whole data privacy thing. I mean, these AI companions, they're basically like constantly learning about us all the time, our likes and dislikes, what we do, even our like weak spots. It makes you wonder who gets to see all that info and how do we know they're going to use it, for good?
It's kind of like inviting someone to move into your house and handing them your diary. Like, here's everything about me. Go nuts. You'd really want to trust that person.
100%. The book even asks, like, what if all that super personal data ends up in the wrong hands? Could someone use it to, like, take advantage of us or mess with us? These are the questions we got to be thinking about as AI gets more and more, woven into our lives.
So it feels like we're walking a tightrope here. On one side, there's this amazing possibility for support and connection, but on the other side, there's some serious risks. So how do we find that balance? How do we, get the good stuff without falling into the traps?
Right, and that's where this idea of digital literacy comes in. Love Beyond Boundaries really pushes for us to become smarter about, like, how we use AI to be better consumers of the technology.
Digital literacy. So it's not just like knowing how to use the tech. It's more about understanding how it works, its limits, and uh, all the biases it might have.
You got it. It's being critical, questioning the stuff AI tells us, and always remembering that manipulation is a possibility.
So basically, we should approach AI companions with the same like caution and smarts that we would use with any other relationship.
Exactly. And that includes setting boundaries, just like we would with a friend or family. Being mindful of how much time and energy we're giving to these relationships and making sure it doesn't mean we're neglecting the real people in our lives.
And that brings up something else Love Beyond Boundaries talks about, this whole impact of AI companions on like society. I mean, if people start, getting really attached to AI, will they just like withdraw from human contact? Will real relationships like disappear?
That's a worry for sure.
Mm.
The book says there's a real risk of people becoming isolated, especially those who already have trouble with social stuff.
So instead of being the answer to loneliness, it could actually make it worse in some cases.
It's possible,
Hmm.
but it doesn't have to go that way. It's all about, using this tech responsibly and seeing AI companions as a way to, like, add to human connection, not replace it altogether.
It's like those old arguments we used to have about social media. Like, does it bring us together or is it just this fake version of connection? It seems like we're facing the same questions with AI companions, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the answer, like with social media, is probably complicated. It depends
Yeah.
on how we choose to use this tech and how it, fits into our lives.
So how do we make sure we're using it wisely? Are there any like rules or ethical frameworks out there to help us navigate this, uncharted territory?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Because AI is changing so fast, our ethical thinking has to keep up.
Okay, let's talk ethics then. What are some of the big questions we should be asking ourselves as these AI companions get, more and more advanced?
Well, one of the most pressing questions is about agency. Like, as AI gets smarter and more independent, do they, like, deserve any rights or protections? Can we just keep thinking of them as tool, or do we need to start seeing them as something, more?
Whoa, whoa, hold on. We're talking AI rights now. This is heavy stuff.
It is heavy, and we can't ignore it.
It's like this is just the beginning when it comes to how tricky the ethics of human AI relationships are going to get. I need a minute to like wrap my head around this.
I feel ya. It's a lot to take in.
When we get back, we'll explore what all this means for the future. We'll look at the big societal shifts, how love and connection might change, and what it all means for you. Stay with us.
Okay, so we're back, and it's time to face the big question. What's next for, like, humans and AI, relationship-wise?
Yeah.
After all this talk about the good, the bad, the ethical stuff, I gotta say, I'm kind of excited, but also kind of freaked out. Is that weird?
I get it, totally. The future's always a bit of a mystery, right? But if we go by what we're seeing now, it seems pretty likely that AI companions are going to become like way more a part of our lives and way more advanced, like what they can actually do.
Yeah, I could picture it now, like, everyone's walking around with their own personalized AI buddy, like
Oh.
Siri or Alexa, but on steroids, and they just get you, on a deeper level.
That's kind of what the book's saying too. As AI keeps evolving, they think we're going to see a shift. It'll be less about AI just doing stuff for us and more about like AI that's there for emotional support, companionship, even helping us grow as people. So it's not just about like getting things done anymore. It's like having an AI that's there for you through thick and thin helps you navigate life, almost like a built-in best friend slash therapist.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Imagine having this companion, and they know your schedule, what you like, but also they get your emotional, like, patterns, can give you advice that's actually tailored to you, even
That's
help you become, like, a better version of yourself.
Okay, that does sound amazing, but like, what does that even mean for a human connection? The old-fashioned kind. Are we all going to be so busy with our AI besties that we forget how to like actually relate to each other?
That's a huge question, and Love Beyond Boundaries, they don't, like, dismiss that worry.
Hmm.
They're saying the key is balance.
Yeah.
We got to take advantage of the cool stuff AI companionship offers without forgetting how important human connection is, that it's uh, irreplaceable, really.
So it's not either, it's more like finding a way for both to like exist and maybe even like make each other better, right?
Exactly. Think about it. We invented the telephone, but people still wanted to see each other face to face,
Yeah.
right? It's the same idea. AI companions, they're more likely to just like add to our relationships, not completely replace them.
Okay, but still, wouldn't this lead to some like weird new social rules and stuff? I mean, if everyone's got their AI confidant, how does that change like how we interact?
That's a fascinating thought. Yeah, we might need like a whole new set of etiquette rules for hanging out with AI companions and like the humans who have them.
Like, is it rude to interrupt someone who's having a deep convo with their AI? Or what about like telling your AI something personal, knowing they might like share it with their human?
Right, right. These are exactly the kinds of dilemmas we're going to face as AI companions become like more normal.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how we adapt, how social norms change to fit this whole new type of relationship.
And then there's the legal side of things. I can totally see lawsuits happening, like over AI companions getting hacked or used to do bad stuff.
Yeah, that's a valid point. As AI companions get, more intertwined with our lives, the law is going to have to catch up. We'll need rules about who owns them, who's responsible when things go wrong, privacy issues, even the whole question of AI personhood.
Wait, hold up. AI personhood? That sounds like some serious sci-fi stuff right there.
It might seem far out, but it's a conversation that's already happening, in law and philosophy. If AI gets to a point where it can think for itself, act on its own, like, do we need to start giving them rights and protections just like humans?
This is really making my head spin thinking about how this could change everything, long term. It's not just about like tech getting better, it's about a whole societal shift. Like, what does it even mean to be human, to connect, to love? This could change all of that.
Yeah, and maybe by looking at these like unconventional relationships with AI, we'll learn something new about ourselves, about what human connection really is.
It's like AI is holding up a mirror, making us look at our own needs, what we want, and where we fall short.
And Love Beyond Boundaries, it ends with a really powerful message.
Hmm.
The future of human AI relationships, it's not set in stone. It's up to us to make sure it happens in a way that's like responsible, ethical, using this tech to make us more human, not less.
So for our listeners out there, what does all of this mean for them, like right now? How can they get ready for this future where AI companions are probably going to be, everywhere?
I think the most important thing is to stay, informed, curious, keep the conversation going. This is a field that's changing so fast, and we all need to be a part of shaping it, making sure it reflects what we believe in.
So it's not about just sitting back and watching it happen. It's about like actively getting involved, thinking about the ethical and social stuff, asking the hard questions, and making sure the companies developing this tech are being open and honest with us. Yeah.
Exactly. And maybe the biggest thing is to stay open-minded.
Yeah.
AI companions might not be everyone's cup of tea, but they have the potential to, like, really change lives for the better. Companionship, support, personal growth in ways we can't even imagine right now.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Love Beyond Boundaries, navigating human AI relationships, we'll leave you with this thought. The future of love and connection, it's being written right now. What part will you play? Thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive.